Hi guys, Adam here. Welcome to Iracing and the Tsukuba circuit for week 1 of the Mazda MX-5 Cup. Now this video series is just going to be a log of my progress as I progress through all of the weeks for this season. I'm going to try my best to do all 12. I haven't done it before. I'm relatively new to iRacing. It's the first time I've jumped into it in quite a long time, so I thought I'd keep a log of how I'm doing and how I'll progress. The way that these videos are going to work, just for reference, is there's going to be the main feature race where we'll watch most of the race together and go through it, and then the other 3 races will be done in kind of like 5-minute highlights or so, and then we'll have a bit of a summary at the end of kind of lessons learned and the rest at the end after the racing. So, without further ado, let's jump into the racing for our first race. We've qualified in 3rd place for this, by the way, and green, let's go! So we get off to a pretty good start, better than number 12 car in front of me. Managed to dive up his inside before we even get to braking for the first corner. Brake, a little worried about the green coming up, but no, we close it off and we're all good, and we're up into the lead. So this was my 2nd race of the week, the first one that isn't part of this series and I'm not counting. I jumped into without any practice and it did not go well, let me assure you of that. So I'm just trying to keep it through, keep it clean. I haven't been in this position before on iRacing where I'm actually the lead car, so it's all new for me, all strange. So I'm just trying to keep it clean. So if we take this as a replay of the start now, you see I'm the number 5 car, someone lags, someone just goes off in a straight line, they couldn't deal with the start. But we pull up alongside, go round, and we're into the lead. And it's as simple as that. So we keep it through, but rejoining now, we're still on that one, just coming around the long right-hander onto the back straight. I quite like this circuit, and as it went on, it got better, and I quite enjoyed racing around it, but unfortunately things didn't always go my way. Let's just put it that way. But this is a tricky corner under braking here, going down into 3rd to try and get it smoothed down. This didn't do that very well at all here. I will also make a quick disclaimer and a quick FYI now. I'm not very good. I don't come here from a period of real world racing or anything. I'm just a guy that likes Formula 1 and got iRacing. But we go a little bit off track there. That allows the green card to close off a bit. And this is where it shows my inexperience in this position, because right now I am nervous as hell, and I'm constantly watching the mirror, constantly watching it, thinking, oh no, they're almost there, and I'm not racing as well as I could have. Let's just put it that way. That's the main thing. I'm not racing as well as I could be at all. And look, he goes right up to the back of us there, and he's really getting close. But as I was saying, I don't have real world experience. I've raced karts a couple of times, not at any form of level, and I'm mostly a Formula 1 fan. I've played the Formula 1 games for years, but even there, I've tailed off in recent years, and I'm not very fast. I'm not great. A little bit of hardware. I'm using my single monitor and the Logitech G29 racing wheel that I upgraded to last week. I was using the Logitech Driving Force GT wheel for the last kind of 6 years or so, I think it was, and now I've recently changed, so I'm still getting used to that. Here I go a little bit wide, cut onto the off track there, a little bit wide. That allows the green car to slide up alongside me, and I was here thinking, well, where's he gone? And he put too much power down and went straight into the barrier there, which I've seen so many people do, and I've done so many times myself. It's so easy to do, and here we come for a replay on that. Coming around, he's so close. This is coming onto the start-finish straight. So close. Look, the 3rd car just goes right out there, all the way, smacking the barrier. That takes him out the race. So there goes a bit of pressure there. I didn't see that while I was coming down the straight. The green car right up behind me. I'm just trying to focus, but I'm too busy looking where he is. That he's right behind me, and I'm like, okay, he's faster than me. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep this. Keep looking, miss the brake in, go completely wrong, slide it round, off track. I cut back on a little bit, and now I'd like to know people's thoughts on that, of whether I was in the wrong or not, because I'm not 100%. But if we look at his onboard footage, I come off, I kind of swerve across the front of him a bit, but I kind of step out the way, too much power, into the wall. And now I can say, after this incident, because I was worried that I was at fault, after this incident, right towards the end of the race, we started catching up with him again, because that car kept doing that same thing. Either because they were trying to catch back up to the field because of the accident that occurred when they were behind me, I'm not sure, but it was an issue. They weren't very consistent around there, and they did smack into the wall a few times during this race. But anyway, that took out all of the competition, really. I had number 12 car behind me by 1.6 seconds now, and I'd just gone through and set a fastest lap on that lap of a 107.2. I think my fastest at this point was a 106.6 in practice. Not the fastest, as you know, but I was quite happy with that, and it allowed me to remain competitive in quite a lot of the fields that I was placed in. But it was all here, the kind of new territory for me. My account hadn't had a race win on it, so I was wanting to keep that on the track. So I wanted to start driving conservatively, but as I go a bit wide here, of course I say that as I go a bit wide. But it was. Yeah, I wanted to drive conservatively, but then also I didn't want to drive too conservatively because I wasn't very confident in my own ability to keep my speed up. So I was kind of having all these thoughts going through my head as I was just trying to keep it clean, and it took me a while to get that out of my head and just focus on my braking points, my laps. See there, we set a 106.9. Which I thought was a pretty good. It's the first time I'd gone sub 106 in a race, because this being my second race, and the first one was a disaster. Let's just say that it was complete and utter disaster. Now we're coming through, and I am inconsistent with my braking points, my turn-ins. I know that, and we're here to. This is week 1. Alright, we're here to improve, and this is going to be a log, so in a year or so we'll come back to this and be like, alright, last time we were at Tsukuba, this was our fastest lap, this is how we did, let's see if we can bear that. But overall the week wasn't too bad. Coming back to iRacing, I did about 12 races or so in the week 13. That was live when I renewed my subscription. So I did 12 races there. I got a couple of third place, but kind of I think my average finish was 5th. So I was in the top 5. It was decent, but I could never get kind of that step further. And yeah, so I jumped into this, and I was like, okay, season 1, week 1, let's go. And I think, on a whole, for my first week, I think it went pretty well. Now I know I could probably do more than 4 races in a week, but as a time thing, and to make it easier for me making these videos, because that's another thing I'm new at, I'd rather just keep to the 4. I can guarantee time for the 4 most weeks, and that then gives me. This video took me a lot longer than I thought it would to edit down, so I think sticking to the 4 would be fine. And then if I want to race more in the off time, I'll go and stick it on oval, because oval's quite fun to do as a. I'm gonna say not serious, and hope you guys know what I mean, but just a bit of fun jumping on, seeing what we can do, not really caring a lot about it. Road is what I want to get good at. And I know there is a long way to go, but yeah, it's the way I want to go. But yeah, coming through, our fastest lap now is a 106.7, and we've actually been lapping pretty consistently between the low 107s and the high 106s. So I was quite happy with that, and I was kind of finding a rhythm here. On lap 8 with 8 to go, still in first. I've managed to eke out a lead now to the number 12 car by 8.1 seconds. So it was going pretty well. It was going pretty well indeed. Coming down the back straight, I did quite like this this last section. Experimenting with going out wide and cutting in or keeping it tight. I saw a whole mixture of people doing different things as the week went on. I didn't watch any guides or any track guides or anything like that going into this. I loaded up a practice session and I tried to figure it all out for myself. I had a quick look around to see what was kind of a decent-ish lap time, and I went from there. That was the extent of what I did for help. But I love this circuit. I'm going to just come out and say it. I had a great time on it. I felt quick on it when I could get clean, and I really had a confidence. I really grew a confidence around here after this race that, yeah, okay, it's going to be a good week. We're going to do well. But as happy as I was to get my first lead this early on, I still didn't believe it. I didn't think it was gonna materialize into anything. But as we were just scratching out more and more of a lead, the only thing that could go wrong in this race was myself. And knowing that at any time I could put too much power down coming out of the turn that the green car did and have the exact same fate happen to me. That was keeping in my mind. But we're pulling out now from the guy behind us by over a second a lap. It's now gone up to he's now at 9.8 seconds behind. As we set a 107.2, so it was a respectable lap time, but it wasn't blistering fast, and we still pulled out a second. So it was pretty good. We're in control of the race. Lap 10 now. We've got 6 to go. But this was the race, and it was just a case of keeping it on track. But if we talk a little bit more about these videos, so as I said at the start, one feature race. This is what we're watching now. We're watching the race in full. Kind of talking through what happens, what I was thinking, and showing what I think is the best and most entertaining race. Well, maybe not entertaining in this case, but the best race. So I can, when we come back and watch them in the future, we have this log of, okay, well, this, we can do it almost a side-by-side comparison and see. It may change going forwards. This is just how I thought of it at the moment. I'm whole new to this, and I'm open for suggestions if anyone has any. So they'll come out on a Sunday at the end of the week, and we'll have an iRacing video at least once a week where it'll be this kind of video. I'll call them Season 1, Week 1, as it goes through. They'll be nice and easy to find. Every Sunday. I don't know if a specific time, so don't ask me for that, but that's what it will be, once a week. Any other videos that come out, I may post a bit of ranked F1. I may post some of my oval races if I have a good oval race. I'm not too fussed. But as we were coming around that first corner there, we got a car stopped on the left, and I was like, well, I'm the lead car, so does that mean we're coming up to lap someone? And again, this was my first ever time in iRacing of coming up to lapping someone, and here I was just panicking, saying, please don't mess it up while you're trying to overtake them, and for the love of God, please don't let them hit into you. Don't ruin this now through a car that was not even in the race. So that's what I was worried about. But they were great. They pulled over to the side, allowed us to just speed on past, and I have to thank them very much for just keeping out the way, keeping it easy. I probably caught them at the right place in the track. There are some places like after T1 that I really don't want to be kind of trying to navigate past someone there, whereas that little straightaway there, perfect. So yeah, we're still keeping consistently 107, low 107 lap times. That's positive for me. That consistency is what I've been trying to work on, and I need to work on going forwards, and will then hopefully get a lot faster because of that. So we're going through a few races to go. But yeah, if there's any racing that you guys want to see, I can put that up. But I'm kind of purely just using this channel and this platform as a way to save memories for myself, so I can say, alright, I wonder how season 1 went back in, I wonder how 2020 season 1 of iRacing went, my first one that I properly completed, and I can use this as a log to go and look at that, and see what that's like. That's why I'm doing it. I thought it'd be pretty cool, something to look back on. But 2 laps to go, we're commanding victory. We don't seem to be letting that off at all. And that green car you can see in the distance there, that's the green car that was behind us that we were talking about at the start. Yeah, they really fell off the pace during this, and I did go back in the replay camera after the race to confirm that it was them, and it was, unfortunately for them. Their race turned from something that could have been fighting for a race win to just bottom of the field with their close competitor catching them up. So that's unfortunate for him. But while we are during this race, I still had my rookie license. I did get my D license during this weekend, which was quite nice. But yeah, it was, people weren't very how to say it, consistent, or they weren't very clean, some of them. Not that they'll crash into people, but that they make mistakes, go off track, and the likes. It did take me, you may be thinking, oh, you did 12 races in week 13 and you only hit D in this weekend. It's like, yeah, it took me that long to kind of get to grips of, right, let's take it easy, let's get into the swing of things. So it's, although this isn't my rookie season, it is, but yeah, I'm just not in a division for rookie. Apparently I'm in Division 1, but I don't know. I look on the website and it says I haven't got a division, so I don't know. We'll see if that updates anytime soon. For the white flag, coming round, we weren't quite able to get the green car and lap him, but we kept it clean, went through for our first iRacing race win and my first race win on the first week, so it was all pretty good. And as we see with Spotter, we won, yes. But moving swiftly on to race 2, we've qualified in 6th, I believe, for this race. Green lights we got, and it was an okay-ish start. It wasn't the greatest that I've done, but we try and keep it through this turn 1. There's a car on our left, trying to just follow the number 9 car through here. Coming up to speed, we got the white car coming on our left hand side. He's trying to poke his way through. We're trying to close the door a bit. The number 9 car got a little bit shaky there on the exit, but we're just keeping it on the outside, but too far out, and that allows for the number 10 white car to sneak on through into the right hander. So we're just trying to keep it clean. I think in this race I was too nervous about, putting my teeth in and fighting for this position. As you see, the number 9 car goes a bit wide there, and I thought there was going to be a little bit more of an accident there, but luckily they kept it like that. But yeah, I lost a couple places there on the start just through not kind of getting my elbows out and fighting for it. It was the first lap. I wanted to settle into a rhythm and go from there. this was, as a car spins off there, this was also this was 2 days after the race before this, and I hadn't done, the only practice I'd done was kind of 20 minutes or so in the open practice session before the race splits, so it probably all went, my whole prep for this was probably completely wrong, but I tried to keep up with the pack, and not, as the car behind, the number 7 car, tapped into the back there and I get a 4x for it, but I was probably a little bit too conservative in this race, but I just tried to, as the number 9 car there does the exact same thing as the green car did in the last race, I'm just trying to keep it clean, keep on it, but it's, unfortunately, yeah, I was probably a little bit too conservative. This number 7 car in front of me, he kept lagging. The car kept disappearing and reappearing magically in different locations, which again, it made me nervous, and I couldn't settle into a rhythm, because if we went through a turn and he disappeared, I didn't know where to place the car in case he popped back up in front of me, like here, exactly here, and he pops up there and cuts across. And that was like that for almost the entire race, and I realised, we cut on now to lap 6, I really didn't know what to do. It was 6 laps stuck behind it. We were very, very evenly paced. I do think that that's a factor, is we were very, very close, but I just couldn't get close enough to do a move, and I wasn't very confident behind the car due to the fact that he was disappearing and reappearing magically across the field. But after a few people had spun out, he is a podium position. He is in 3rd, I'm in 4th, and I'm just hoping that I can get past and get my first two results as a race win and a 3rd place. I thought 2 podiums, first 2 races, what a great way to kick things off. But it's just difficult. It's difficult keeping consistent and keeping behind him, especially when he's disappearing and reappearing. It's just, I just couldn't get into a rhythm as we go through. I think this was my fastest lap. We set a 106.5. That was my fastest ever lap around that track. Unfortunately, he did a 106.8 or something like that, so I really wasn't getting any closer to him. As we move on now, this is the final lap of the race, and the number 3 car behind us is really closing in on both of us now. He was so much faster. I think he started back in P11 or something like that, but he was really closing down on us over the last couple of laps, and now it got to the final lap and he's got within a second, and it's just, I'd still like to see if there's a move on the number 7 car in front of us, but I'm dropping back a little bit now, as I'm just trying to keep it on the track and smooth, so that the number 3 car behind isn't able to get anywhere. But he's about a second behind, so any kind of mistake I make and he's right in there. And it's the final lap of the race, so I don't want to do anything too stupid, because 4th place is still a decent result to keep. As we come now round the final corner, who knows what the number 7 car's doing. He's disappearing, he's reappearing, smoke everywhere, but I keep it clean and go through for a 4th place finish, which isn't too bad at all. And then I just had to get him on the first corner after after the race. But I think we're going to take a highlight. Look at the replay of the final corner. You can see how close we all were together as we come through. Jumped up on the curb there a little bit, and then kind of was perfect. But yeah, that's how close we were. It was a good race. I just frustrated I couldn't get past the number 3 car. But here we are for race number 3. And we've qualified in P6 again, so the field definitely got a bit stronger after the first race, but that blue car just didn't move on the race start. He wasn't prepared for it at all. The orange one's swinging a little bit, but we go from P6 up to the first corner, brake and turn in, and that's P3, P6 to P3 on the start. I'm not sure what it is about the starts in iRacing, but I seem to be doing something right. Whether I'm doing them the right way or not, I don't know, but they seem to be working out pretty well for me at the moment. So now it's a case of the guys in this field were a lot faster. The top kind of 4 guys all qualified with a 105 lap time that I hadn't yet got into. I was kind of high 106. So they were all a lot faster than me, and you see this guy diving up my inside. I had quite a close fight with the number 8 car behind, but I was trying to set into a rhythm, but I was really nervous. I was really nervous because I knew they were all like a couple seconds quicker than me. But I was trying to. I also then knew, because this was right after the last race, and I knew that if I didn't, as we got up into second, because something happened to the I think the number 1 car disconnected or something. But I was trying to keep my elbows out a little bit more because I hadn't done it in the first race. I wanted to do it more here, but I was just, my nerves got the best of me here. That's kind of, I think that's all I can say really. But we were running in second. We couldn't close. I didn't think we'd be able to close in on the orange car at all. We go a little bit wide there again. That was too busy looking in my rear mirror again. But the car just can't. The number 2 car just can't find a way past us at the moment. As he comes to go on our inside through the right-hander, we give him space, but he does back out. So we use our normal line, in which we get on the grass a little bit, and round we go into the pit wall as a load of cars pass us now. And I was swearing at myself quite loudly here, because that was all just completely my fault. And because I was so nervous, a mistake was always going to happen. So we dropped down to position 8 at the back of this queue as we cut on now to lap 4. I thought there was an accident going to happen in front of us here, the 2 going side by side, but they didn't. They kept it clean as we were coming through, and I was just pushing. I was pushing so much, trying to get on here, and yeah, I was just trying to get onto the back of the cars, and I was pushing too much, couldn't handle it, so we had to go in, get repairs. I then decided to come out anyway, because carrying on the race, it's more practice, more laps under my belt. I had to let a few cars here through getting lapped. These are the leaders. This is the lead pack that I let through here. So I'm now thinking, okay, well, if I can keep with this, if I can keep with them, then it shows that I do have the pace to fight with these faster guys if I do it without my nerves, which you don't tend to have when you're a lap down and you can't really do anything. You can't get a result in this. But we cut on to lap 8, coming around the right-hander again, and I just downshifted too early. Round we go. Slowly getting going again, and then the car's coming through, so we just let them through. And it was when we were behind this car that I kind of gave myself a smack, and I was like, "Come on, Adam, what are you doing in this race? All of these errors are all self-imposed. No one tapped me, no one did anything. This was all me not being able to drive." So I got behind this guy, and I was like, "Okay, well, let's just follow the way he does it. Let's follow the way that they go through the corners and see if we can get a faster time." So we cut on to lap number 12. I think this was my last lap of the race because of the amount of times I've been lapped while waiting for the repair, and it's also my fastest lap. So before this lap, I'd set 2 laps consistently in the high 106 bracket, which for me is a good lap time. And we're going through, and I'm just trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it smoother. I'm trying to keep the car a little bit more level. And go through without trying to overdrive the car. And I think that's what my biggest issue was this week, was me just trying to overdrive the car. But we come through down the final straight again. Going to the right hander. He pulled away from us a little bit, but we did kind of keep it. We kept it as it should be. And we come through here. And we set a lap time of a 106.3. I was buzzing with that time. I loved it, and then just as soon as we set that, I was too happy about the lap time, and I went sideways again. And that was our penultimate lap, but the race ended like that. So we're into this final race. I believe it's P6 again. Again, we got a better start than those of us in front. And we're coming into the first corner. We're in the middle. I wasn't really too happy about it. I had to give space, and I got clipped. I was giving space for the guy on my right hand side, and then I got clipped, and the car's wrecked and needs to be repaired. So we'll take a look at the start here again. I got a better start than the car in front of me, so I came into the middle of the field. Was giving him space for the first corner, started braking, and then that Liverpool car smacked into me, and off I went. And I've collected the other two cars as we went, because I couldn't do anything about it. But typically it's a Liverpool FC car when I'm a Manchester United fan. Just a little bit of football there, big rivalry. So if we look on board with this Liverpool car here, smack there, off. I don't know if he was trying to sneak up, kind of cut in and sneak up my inside. I don't know if I could have turned in earlier and didn't need to give as much space as I was given to the car on the inside, because the 7 car kind of backed off a little bit. But there's the moment of collision, and it almost seemed as if he was trying to cut. It snapped. It happened. I went into the barrier. I collected 2 cars with it. That's the kind of first turn 1 incident I've been part of. There was a lot of firsts this week. It was nice. But we came out, cut onto lap 8. I was just going through the motions, trying to see what I could get out of this race. As you can see, our best lap time was a 106.6 at the moment. That was set on lap 7. And I was just trying to see what I could have got from this race. It was another one where the field were a lot faster than me in qualifying, which is why I was down the order. Kind of about mid-table in this, mid-pack in this order. But as we set 2 consistent 106.6 laps, which was quite nice. But we're closing in on this red car here, and I think we were a lap down on this car, but we'll follow it through. And I was thinking, well, if I'm faster than him, I'm going to overtake him. And I'm going to go further upfield, and I'm going to try and create a gap and see kind of where I could have come in this race. What was my pace compared to them? As you see, we cut onto lap 10 now, and we are right up behind him. We've set a 106.3 again as the fastest lap, so I was really starting to find my pace on this circuit now. But unfortunately, the last 2 races we just had a little bit of bad luck. As you can see, all 3 cars here. We've got the 2 red cards. I believe one of them is the Liverpool car that spun me out at the start. Just gonna say. But we're really following through. They're all really close together now, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm keeping up with this pack. I can take them. I can do this. I was getting some confidence back in myself. Yeah. But we come through. He goes a little bit wide. Closes the door a little bit on us, but we couldn't get the power down to pull up alongside him, even if we tried. But yeah, coming down the straight here, with cars close together like this, I'm always a little bit nervous because I'm waiting for something to happen. But it doesn't. They keep it clean. We all keep the power down. They started, and then that car just went. He just was like, oh, okay, I'm going. I'm taking myself out. But what I was saying was they all seemed to like take it out further than me earlier on. But I don't know. I was watching people's lines. I was happy with my own. I was fast. You guys may say you are taking the complete wrong line, in which case I'll listen. But the number 8 car goes a little bit wide there. I managed to keep it clean. He smacks into me a little bit there, but I knew I had the pace on him. So if he, with any of these guys, if they closed back up to me, and I wasn't able to pull out a gap, I would have let him straight past. But as you can see, we just dive up the inside of the red car there, and there we go. Pulling on to the final lap of the race, we've pulled out a massive gap on all of them. So I think, yeah, I would have had the pace in this race, but unfortunately a turn 1 incident just made it so that we weren't able to do any more. So that's the checker flag, and it's the checker flag on this weekend. So let's just move on to a quick summary of the weekend. So if we just quickly look at a summary for the week, our best qualifying position was 3rd, our best finish was 1st, and my fastest lap this week was a 106.353. So if there's any other stats that you think I should add here on the summary page at the end, let me know, and we'll go from there. But thanks all for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday.